Welcome back to the State Champ Studio, episode 8 of Extra Innings. I'm Gage DeAngelis. Alongside me, the great Robby Elliott. Robby, how we doing?
We're doing great, Gage. Postseason baseball is upon us. There's no better time than the postseason.
Absolutely. In a few short weeks, we are going to be state-bound, state championships. We're going to have those dog piles this year. It's a matter of what teams are going to be there in East Lansing for that final championship game. Today, we're going to have our final top 10. We're going to go over some districts we're really looking forward to. But, Robby, we had some changes in this top 10. I know that you would love to kind of go through our rundown here. Obviously, Brother Rice at number 1. But what did you see here that kind of jumped?
Yeah, so, the bottom of the top 10, we'll get to that. That is where we saw the most change. But, yeah, let's just go down 1 through 10 since it is our final one. Number 1, Brother Rice. That is a consensus. They're actually just got ranked top 5 in the country by Max Preps. They took on the number 3 team, Northville. Duhame on the mound. He's been in pitching in all big games. So, to see him go in and do what he did against Northville, in case you didn't know, they went out there and not only did they pitch very well, but this offense, let's just put it this way. There was no bigger exclamation point that they could have put on everybody in the state and said, hey, we are here. Not only can we beat those teams that are in the middle of the road, the top 20, the teams that are 15 to 20, right? No, we went out and beat the big dogs. The team that everybody thought was going to win the state championship earlier on this year, Northville, they hung 2 on them. I think 10 to 0 in that first one. I don't know if there's been, obviously we had the Orchard Lake St. Mary's, right, Gage, where they had their dominance. I want to know your take, though. Is this team at that caliber?
This Brother Rice, these two teams, you basically had 2 college rosters up against each other.
Right.
This was a statement game. Brother Rice came out and did their thing. They pitched well. They hit well. They didn't make any errors. It's a team like this is ready. They've lost 1 game on the season, I believe.
Yep.
They're ready to make the next stride. They're saying, come get me, come get us. We're going to be there in East Lansing. But again, did Northville have an off game? Did they have 2 off games? Maybe. But, Robby, you just said it. This Northville team is a team that I've never seen composed before. It's been a long, long time since I've seen from top to bottom onto their benches. Everybody's available. Everybody's able to play at that top level. So I do believe I'm going to have to change my stance. I said CC earlier this year, but what Brother Rice has shown me all season long, there's not a question who the obvious favorite is to win states this year.
And my last comment about this matchup and just the beauty of this matchup is, yes, Brother Rice took it and they ran with it. Such a big, emphatic win. But Northville scheduled this purposefully. They let their guys get beat up. This is a perfect time. You can take this loss right now, right? And now they know. They saw their 2 best guys. They know what to expect offensively, defensively. So expect Northville, because they are going to play again, hopefully. Expect a little bit of taste of revenge in their mouth. Remember, this is a team that should have won it last year and didn't. So now they have a little bit of extra chip on their shoulder that Brother Rice did for them. But hey, we got other teams in that top 10. Number 2, splitting right between Brother Rice and Northville, is Mattawan. This is a team that's been up there all year long. I just can't speak enough about a team that has put together a complete season that everybody knew from last year after they made their great run. But I truly think this is a team that, if we're not seeing it Brother Rice and Northville, it's Brother Rice Mattawan, or however the bracket plays out, right? Number 4 are who's been the best Division II team, in my opinion, all season long, and I think both of our opinions and everybody else around the state. Flint Powers Catholic, they've done such a great job at not only beating their opponents really big in the Division II, but they've played a lot of Division I teams that they've had a lot of success on. Great pitching staff over there, but also put together a really good offense. Zeeland East at number 5.
Who stayed there all year.
Yeah.
Literally has not moved out of the top 5 or up in the top 5. It's
right.
been
That
number
West
5 all year long.
Yeah, that West Side team that is truly – there's been a couple West Side teams. We're going to get to those later on in the back half of this top 10. But Zeeland East has taken on just about everybody, played everybody even down here, and they've held their own. I love the way that they compete. I love that offense. And the pitching staff has some stars, and that's what I've been saying all year long, Gage. Pitching in this state, that's how you win the state title. That's how you make deep playoff runs. Zeeland East possesses it. And at number 6, Jenison is one of those teams where They have played one of the hardest schedules, right? And yet they have prevailed as well. I love this team in the sense that they're so battle tested, right? And you want to go into the playoffs knowing that you've seen everybody. You've seen the great teams from Southeast Michigan, but you've also played all the best teams from the West Side and the middle of the state, right?
Absolutely.
So battle tested. That's why I have them here, but they've also won some really big games. This isn't just a team that we're giving the nod to, even though their record's not well. No. 29-6, Jenison, really good team. And then going into that back half, Birmingham Seaholm, West Bloomfield, those two teams have been in there. We've seen and talked enough about them. But Rockford finally in it, number 9. Gage, we have said so much. There's tons of college commits.
Absolutely.
They have such a great picking to come from. They're such a big school, right? They've played everybody. We've said, hey, beat this team and you're going to get in. Oh, beat that team, they're going to get in. I haven't put them in all year. They're going to make our final top 10. I'm excited to see this run because I think with the teams that they've beat, I said battle tested. Well, not only are they battle tested, they've beat every big opponent. Look for Rockford to be one of those teams that isn't a sleeper. No, everybody knows that this is a good baseball team, but look for them to just have gaudy, emphatic wins the same way that Brother Rice did against Northville in this tournament. And then Bay City Western rounding out our top 10. I love this list. Are you confident in this list?
I'm very, very confident in this list. The one team, speaking and touching on them again, is Rockford. I think we did an episode, a handful of minutes on them, all their college commits. For me, Rockford pedigree. Rockford's a team that when I was in high school, I'm aging myself a little bit here, Robby, 14, 15, 16 years ago, Rockford was a top 10, top 5 team in almost every sport across the board. There's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of athletes there. I think Rockford's a team that can see themselves being in one of those Final Four teams, but it does come down to their depth. It comes down to their experience. It comes down to Detroit Lions grit, right? It comes down to you going through your adversities, going through those teams that are a lot tougher than you, and taking those ball games away, winning those 1-0, one-run games, or going and blowing a team out, get that 3-4 run mercy, and go home. I really like that Rockford team, but this top 10, any of them can take the state title this year.
Right, and that is exactly what I was just about to say. This is a tough tournament. And there's teams on this that aren't on this list that could take it, but I love this list so much because I could see each one of these teams. I mean, they talk about number 8 to number 1, right? They're going to play each other probably in the district final, okay?
Yes.
Whoever wins that very well could come out with a state title. Like, that is just the cool part about Michigan high school baseball right now. It is so neck and neck. I mean, the discrepancy between 1 and even if I were to go down to 25 isn't that much. There's not that big of a difference. So it's going to be a fun tournament to watch. And it's just about to get started, Gage.
And you had just mentioned districts. We have an entire list of teams, of districts that we want to take a look at. Starting off, we've got Zeeland West and Jenison, another top 10 team matchup right there. They're going to go in and see that Zeeland East. There's a potential state championship matchup right there. I'm going to, Bay City Western, Midland. The one thing that I'm really looking forward to is this Novi, Livonia, Stevenson, Brighton, and Heartland. When between the Brighton and Heartland winner, they're going to face a South Lyon team potentially. Again, South Lyon needs to win their pre-district. They need to go through, but I believe South Lyon is 28-6, something along that. They've won 20-plus games and lost less than 10. Great program, city that I'm from. I'm repping South Lyon. It's a matter of, you have Novi, returning state champion, defending state champion, I should say. You can't count them out. I don't care. You have Brother Rice. You have all these teams that we've talked about and highly touted, but I still have to give respect where respect is due. Novi did their job this year. They won a lot of games, and they hit their stride great. So I can't wait to see that. Were there some other of those games that you were really looking forward to, Robby?
That Lumen Christie Hanover Horton game. Lumen Christie is a team that we've kind of brought up a couple times. This is them playing in that playing against Cardinal Mooney in the Cardinal division of the Catholic field or the Catholic League Finals. But this Lumen Christie team battles, man. There is tons of athletes. In terms of Division III schools, we love to talk about all the great private schools, even the public schools that have a ton of athletes to pick from. Lumen Christie's always in that conversation as one of those teams. So that pre-district game is going to be fun to watch. The pre-districts are so interesting, though, because you don't know who's going to draw until basically you come up to it, right? And, I mean, we've had some crazy stories. I think Grand Rapids, West Catholic, and Allendale, that could turn out to be a really good game. Allendale is one of those teams where we've seen them beat some very good teams by a lot, and then you've also seen them kind of, not maybe play up to their level in terms of, they're playing down to their opponents, I should say. But I like Allendale in this one. Grand Rapids, West Catholic is going to put up a great fight. Gage, I want to know, though, you have some great memories. We were talking pre-show about those pre-district games. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, pre-districts are always fun. The one most recently, when I was coaching over at Metacytes Bishop Foley, I was with Justin Robinson, our head coach. We ended up polling University of Liggett in the pre-district, and at that time, I'm pretty sure we were ranked number 1 and number 2 respectfully. All year long, people were saying, this is the game that you're going to see. It's going to be in the state championship. And boom, we get them pulled in the pre-district. Unfortunately, we lose 1-0, and that was the end of our season. We were supposed to go all the way. Didn't end up happening. Had an off game, lost by 1, and Liggett goes on to win the state title. I've had a bunch over at, when I was over at St. Mary's. Before that, when I was with South Lyon, it's a matter of that pre-district. It's that extra game. You have to win it. At this point, Robby, it's win or go home. It is no longer, it's double elimination, it's a tournament schedule, round robin. No. Win or go home. There's no in between. And that's where you're going to see athletes, on the field where they're going to give it their all because there's no second chance. And it's a matter of how bad do you want it.
Right, and that is why there's so much beauty in Michigan high school playoffs, because you will see teams like we saw what Novi did last year, but these teams kind of find that gear. I'm going to talk about a team that we saw on there, Brighton and Heartland, right? Heartland is beginning to find that gear and is going to be a team that, in my opinion, is going to surprise a lot. They're going to, like we talked about, play that great South Lyon team who's also hitting their stride. But I think that's another team that could make a deeper run than we probably thought maybe 2-3 weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. So who wants it the most, right? These seniors are now starting to see, baseball might be coming to an end, right? Mm-hmm. My baseball career. How do those juniors, how do those sophomores respond in terms of playing for those seniors, letting those guys play one more week, get one more practice, right? Michigan high school baseball playoffs in general are always so fun to cover, so fun to watch. And we have it all right here. We are going to be with you guys through it, the entire thing. Going to be talking about districts next week and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and one of the things in a couple of weeks, we're going to crown a champion in every division. At that time, hopefully we're going to be there, or we're going to be able to do it live. It's one of those things where we're getting out there, we're watching all of those games. We're going to be taking note of the communities that surround these baseball teams. I think that's what I love most about baseball is the teams that make it into that state run. You really see their communities and their cities show out. So it's really going to be beautiful to see that, especially in districts. But leading up to Lansing, hopefully that whole stadium is full. But other than that, Robby, is there anything else that we wanted to cover today?
No, I'm excited to now see. We came in right at the first episode, right? We made all those state championship predictions. I'm excited to see how well our predictions are, how good we were, how good was our crystal balls, right? No, we have so much more coverage for you guys, and it's going to be so fun to cover this all. This is going to be a great tournament, tight-knit, and who knows who's going to be that team? We don't know, but we are excited to figure out who it is, and stay tuned for it all.
Absolutely. This is Robby Elliott. I'm Gage DeAngelis. We will see you next week for episode 9 of Extra Innings.
State Champs Extra Innings is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious, make magic. Extra Innings is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, a proud sponsor of the MHSAA. And the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Michigan High School Male and Female Athlete of the Year Award.